probably made a lot of excellent, very scary films. How did those skills merge into like what we can expect from a Godzilla movie? Like suspense, monsters, like what are we pulling from?
It's interesting you ask that because it's not like I was consciously drawing from horror movies per se, at least in a conscious way. Like, because for me, this film was always about, it's for all audiences and it's for kids. Like there's some splattery scenes in the film. I've done a lot of like gory stuff in my career, so it was kind of interesting to like scale that up to a gigantic monster level. But whenever I did those scenes, I actually kind of went out of my way to try to make sure that they didn't feel disturbing. And maybe that is from experience of doing horror, where I have done death scenes that feel disturbing and gross and things. And so for me, it was like, if we were going to do something bloody, I tried to make sure that it felt a little cartoony in those places, because you're always kind of treading a fine line. You want it to be thrilling and just scary enough for kids, but not so much so that they don't want to watch it again. Like, I want it to be Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't want it to be Temple of Doom, where you're having nightmares for the rest of your life.
Well, obviously this is a weird question, but obviously on the internet, there's a lot of debate over who would win in a fight, Godzilla versus Kong. The title plays into that. But a certain subsect of the internet is also has another burning question, and it's why don't they kiss? As a director, can you please address that?
Well, I do have regrets that like when I had access to Weta, that I didn't get them to do more ridiculous like things like that, like have Kong and Godzilla kiss but then have an actual fully rendered version of it, like I did get one thing that was pretty funny, which was there's a scene in the film where Kong is reacting to something around him, right? And it's kind of astonishing, right? And in the movie himself, the final version is he's kind of looking around and it's very subtle and he's kind of looking back and forth. And originally my kind of note that I gave them was like, look, can you guys just give me a version also that's like, just go way over the top so that I can just see what that looks like of him being astonished. And they turned a version over and they actually fully rendered it out. So there's like a photorealistic, I have it on my phone somewhere. But there's a version where Kong is going like this. And it looks amazing because it's like fully real.
Take, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like a shade tip, like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa.
In the beginning of the movie, like there is like an attention to detail that is playing on kind of his humanity. Mm-hmm. So I think it works. I get it. I think it works.
Yeah. Well, the thing about these monsters is that, everybody talks about they want to see more fights in these movies and these kind of things. But at the end of the day, what I kind of discovered is that if you're just seeing the monsters do anything, it's pretty enjoyable. I mean, like, I like the opening of the film is that in general, you just see Kong going through a normal day, scratching his butt when he wakes up and, he's one of us. And just watching monsters kind of do nothing is just as interesting as anything else because they're big monsters and it's super cool. Everything they do is really cool.
Who bows to who? Nobody gonna stop for me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
Here we go.